Good morning guys, James here, welcome to Swanwick. This morning I'm going to have a look around one of our brokerage listings here in the marina. This is a 2007 Sunseeker Portofino 47, she's behind us here in the water. Welcome to Nardo, and look at that, the sun's just coming out to help us out. So this morning we're just going to take her off the berth here and out into the pool area just next to the marina, grab a few exterior drone shots, but I thought I'd take the opportunity just to give you a quick walkthrough, as she is a really special example. So this boat has always been here, Northern European spec from new, known to us since build, and this current owner is a real enthusiast, done a lot of work to this one since he took ownership, and she's been brought right up to date. So it's a really nice white boat underneath with a satin black American walnut finish, which is the preferred later woodwork choice downstairs, and then this, as you can see on the outside, has had this black hull band wrap, and then down on the waterline you can see that really cool red stripe as well, so that runs all the way back to the aft quarter. So that was done locally by Generation Graphics and Universal, very well versed in this kind of thing, really modernised the look of the boat. You can see some detailing up top as well, with all of the nav kit and the aerials and what have you matched in. So all of the nav kit was changed at the same time, major service on the engines, new AV system, lots of little bits and pieces, gel coat, chips and what have you taken care of. So the boat does present for her age extremely well. Just trying to come around and show you here, and later in the tour we'll cut in some drone shots to show you what she's like off the dock. So we'll do a start up today, and we'll obviously run you out just so you can see how the boat handles in close quarters. As you can see here at Swanwick, the perfect size really for cruising south coast, this being just under 50 feet overall. They do fit the marinas here on the south coast. 47 has the high-low bathing platform, so the bit I'm stood on here will take a Williams up to a 325 tender. The owner does have one of those available by negotiation that would sit, as you can see, in the removable chocks here on the back. There were some new covers fitted a couple of seasons back, so black aft camper covers that go across this area to enclose it, and then we've got a diesel heating system that will work in the cockpit as well as downstairs. Beautiful finish here on the upholstery, done by Sandbanks Upholstery down in Poole, who are the best of the best at this. You can see the Bentley diamond stitch inlays there, as well as the premium Silvertex upholstery that's been used throughout. So it really does modernise the boat here as we've come up into the cockpit. Teak is extremely good in most of the areas. It's getting a little thin on some of the side steps and what have you, but the cockpit, as you can see here, is a nice uniform colour. She does present very well indeed. All the lighting has been changed, so we've got LED lighting up in the roof. Downstairs, it's dimmable downstairs to soften the boat at night. The original factory ice maker was taken out here to change for that new wine fridge, as you can see, and then up on the top here we've got a barbecue griddle arrangement and a sink, so nice little handy wet bar set up there. Some electric battery switches and what have you. When you come in here, you can see the new speakers up here. We have a new subwoofer down there. There's a 4-channel amp to go with that as well. The heating system we mentioned earlier, say with outlets up in the cockpit. This is a fold-out cockpit table arrangement which just sits on the deck here and allows a very easy transformation to give somewhere for dining. And of course, with the floor space here, there's a bit of room then to put some director's chairs there to get a good 6 to 8 people squeezed around the table. Over here, this is a top loading cool box. As you can see, chuck a bag of ice in there in the morning, as well as the electric element that will keep you drinks cool throughout the day. And then let's just sit up here at the helm. We'll obviously do a bit more of this when we take her off the dock in a sec, but you can see the view, these very racy Sunseekers of yesteryear, very aesthetically pretty from the outside. Low profile roof design. We've had a serviced side window here, so this drops down to help us when we're coming and going. There's been some new sensors fitted in the throttle box, a new steering wheel, you can see with the modern badge arrangement, 2 12-inch Raymarine Axiom displays, you can see there. So these are touchscreen, very quick on the redraw, you can see there. And then we have down here, this is the RMK10 remote, so that's allowing you to control the screens if it's a bumpy day without having to get up and facilitate moving your mouse around on the screen. You can see a camera there, so we've got one there on the bathing platform as well as one in the engine room. We'll have a look at that in a bit when we get going. There's a multi-function display there for things like speed and depth, and then the dash panels have been replaced, as you can see, in this matte black finish to give you a very moody look. Wireless phone charger there in the middle as well. We have an autopilot control down here, new VHF bow and stern thruster controls over here, so it's had service on the bow thruster, upgraded stern thruster a couple of seasons back, and that's a chart card input, trim tab controls and what have you, so everything's nicely to hand. It's a very ergonomic helm, and you can see the detailing panels here running through into the side panels as well. Up here, so you start to see at this age all sorts of general, quite common see cracks and fading, what have you. This is pretty good. Linked up to the windscreen demisters, you can see there underneath the windscreen, and then the dash panel itself, this has all been redone, so it presents very nicely indeed. Across here, it's a very social boat, these, so you've got room for sort of two co-pilots to sit alongside a helm and a navigator, so you've got 4 forward-facing seats, all able to look forward through the screen. So these are used regularly here in the marine. As you can see, it's a very, very common size of boat. And then up above us, of course, we have the hardtop, so we'll pop this open in just a bit and you'll see how this works. Very easy to transform the boat, open or closed, to give the best of both worlds depending on what the weather does. So we come downstairs now and into the main saloon. As you can see, some beautiful teak stair treads there. These actually lift up as a custom on this particular boat, so we've got a small storage area there underneath. And then this lovely light tan leather, you can see the condition is very neat. Throughout all the bolsters, and having not been in the med, so the wood presents extremely nicely. So if I just spin this round, black American walnut, satin finish. So these are solid wood, and then these are a veneer on the doors. And you can see here on the table as well, so we have an expanding top. Very, very minor fade on the lacquer there, but it's pretty perfect for a boat of this age for sure. Much different to something you will have seen down in the med that's really been hit with the UV degradation over the last few years. There's some space again on the floor here if you get those director's chairs, quite handy for dining down here if the weather dictates. You've got some heating outlets down here. We're on UK 3-pin plug sockets. AV setup in front of us. Then we've got the upgrade Bose media centre there with some surround speakers, and then the flat screen TV, which again it's got in both cabins. That's the new head unit underneath the cover here that was added when the stereo system was put in, so that's the latest current generation Fusion. And then over here we've got the galley set up, so you can see a linear sideboard, upgrade of that inlaid top arrangement there. You see hiding underneath there we've got a 2-burner ceramic top. There's a little handy bin in the corner there, and then you can see space to put things like the air fryer, maybe a coffee machine, what have you, to suit each individual owner's needs. Up top, I'm not going to go through all the cupboards because it's still got all the owner's gear on, but there's lots of storage for provisions, some great cupboards and what have you. This one's your fridge, and that's been replaced at some point in the past. Everything shuts with a nice clonk. It's had new upgraded from Timage, all the new buttons and switch gear to make the boat right bang up to date, and you can see the LED lighting up in the roof as well to complement that. Over here, so 7-day timer on the Eberspacher diesel heating control. This is your electrics panel for all of the onboard systems and the generator control. Opening port lights down the side, and then we have 2 cabins, both en suite. So this is the master cabin on a boat of this age. Forward centerline bed, as you can see there, drawers and storage galore. They're really practical boats, these, very much geared around use here on the south coast. As we mentioned, we've got a flat screen TV, high level cupboards, so these are sitting underneath the side decks. Both sides, again, LED lighting. There's an escape hatch up on the top there, and then a good sized wardrobe setup over here. So one side, and then over this side, you can see the private owner's bathroom setup, rotating shower stall arrangement there, and an electric vacuum flush toilet system. Heating has been plumbed into the bathrooms, quite nice if you've got wet weather gear in there to dry out. Stops any damp. There's some new LED lighting beneath here as well as feature. You can see again cupboards here. It's really well thought out. So then we come into cabin number 2. So this is your guest cabin. It runs transverse across the boat. So we're looking at the starboard side outboard at the moment down there. See there's some port lights up top, the LED lighting, and then these 2 single beds, and you've got a panel in the middle there. Hiding round there, you've got the flat screen TV, again on a bracket, and an ensuite, much the same as the forward one here. And you can see this is how the owner keeps the boat all the time. So she's in professional gardiennage with a very experienced Sunseeker engineer who's looked after all the work for him. You can see, again, good size wardrobe in there. Carpets, what have you. Very fussy. And this is exactly how we like to see boats maintained. So we just come back up top before we set off. Let's just pop the floor up, have a quick look in the engine bay. So we have the larger Volvo D9 575. So that's a 9 litre platform. The larger base engines, 500 horsepower in these. The 575s really help it along if you've got a big tender on the back. And just scanning around, you can see the general condition throughout. Very nice for a boat of this age. They hold 1310 litres, 350 gallons in old money fuel. Generator down the back there, centre line. You can see the easy access panel on the front. We've got battery boxes under here, water strainers in the back, so everything's easy to get to. Dipsticks are both handed into the middle, so daily checks are easy. Serviced extinguisher there, and then we mentioned the camera system earlier, so that's a monitoring camera linked into the Raymarine setup. So we've turned the battery switches on already, haven't done a cold start, so let's just sit here and I'll show you exactly how this works. So just literally, ignition's on. You can see the engine hours there, so this will creep up a little bit because the owner's still using her, but 599 hours matched on both. Throttles are live as soon as we turn the ignitions on, and this should bring her to life. These do sound fantastic. Waterline exhaust system, as was very common on Sunseekers of this age, almost a dry exhaust setup, and you can see just come off the back here. Now she's running. Just how that works. So this, as I said, the throttles are instantly live on this, so no activation buttons that we saw. Let's open the roof up just so you can get a feel. 3 glass panels in the top there, so that opens right back to give us a nice view out. And then down by my feet here, you'll see the drop down teak platform, so that actually then gives you something with a little bit more height, which certainly for me is quite useful. I literally just lift that up. It's tricky with one hand and the camera. That comes across like so, and now effectively you're in my eye line here. You can see we've got a view out over the top of the screen. I'll drop down my side window as well here, just so you get a feel for the view, and that then gives us an ability to see all the way down this starboard side when you're doing your berthing. Just before we get going, let's go up on the bow, just show you what the decks are like. So lots of handrails, you can see here, it feels very safe. Just spin this round so it's very easy to get around on boat. And then up forward here, Underneath here, matching upholstery, same as the cockpit. And then we have an upgrade, larger winch from factory. You've got an extra 30 metres of anchor chain on the front and an upgraded 25 kilo anchor on there as well. He's had a new bow pennant post made for the front there. And let's just walk back down the other side so you can see the boat from all angles. So I'm going to leave it there just for a sec, check back, we'll just get the lines off and we'll be away. Okay, so we've just thrown the lines off and we're just going to tease the boat out now. You'll see I've got the drone up above us. Just to show what it's like coming off the dock. You can see nice view here out of this starboard window. Allows us to walk the boat out, just doing everything as we always do, nice and slow. Not much in the way of tide at the moment. Look out the back there. Keep an eye out all around, and then once we're clear, we'll be able to spin her. See my rudder up there, the angle indicator in the middle is centralised, and we're now pretty much out off the mooring. I just put this one into stern, this one into a head, and you can see how that spins the boat really, really quick. So I just instantly knock that back into neutral because I've started that spin. You can see that top down view, how that's rotating the boat round. Very, very easy to handle. Great if you've got two people. Quite happy to run this if you're experienced with just an owner taking it out. Say with the bow and stern thrusters, you really can get it alongside very easily, but nice if you've got a cruise. You can see here JB, my engineer, with us this morning, as we're just going to take her out, say, to take a few photos. So as soon as you put the boat into gear, we do about 6.5 knots, so we just tease it out one at a time to the main fairway. And as you can see, stood on the platform here, I've got a great view over the top of the windscreen to check out for the paddle boarders and the little dinghies and what have you. Very nice, easy boat to drive, and obviously with a bit of water flow under the rudders, as we now have, we could now use the steering if we so wished. You can see naturally, just with one throttle in there, it does rotate the boat, and I can just stick this one again just to show a bit of reverse on there, and you can see how that literally is just spinning us around. So docile, easy to drive these. Lovely boat, perfect for the south coast here. And we're away. So we're literally just going to come across, there's a beautiful house here in the background, we're just going to take some photos with the drone. I'm going to leave it there, so we'll cut those in so you can see what she's like just from the outside. Check back in a bit and we'll bring her back in. So as you can see, just taking a look at the boat through the different angles here, starting off on the port side as we spin round to see the bows on shot. Very timeless design, the Portofino 47, a hugely popular boat back in the day, and they continue to sell really well on the second-hand market. This is quite a late boat, and being a white example underneath, if those of you didn't like the black colour, it would be possible to peel off that wrap, turn the boat back into a plain white boat, if you so wish. As we come around the back here, you can see how that aft sun pad works. The backrest on that seat actually folds forward if you want to extend the sun pad. And to finish off, just a nice little top-down shot here. One of my favourites. And it's clear to see why I think this boat isn't going to be on the market for too long. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Obviously just safety drone back on board. I haven't left that out for the docking coming back in, as it will be hopefully much the same as what we just did on the way out. So again, everything nice and slow. Just need to remember to turn my thrusters back on as they have a timeout feature. You can see we're just turning now down into the fairway. Looking up top there, you can see the wind is effectively on about our 11 o'clock at the moment. Just spinning the boat round. And then we will take her back in onto the mooring. too challenged today with the heavy winds and tide, but on a windy day it does have a nice big bronze propellers. It really does manoeuvre, as you've seen, close quarters very nicely. So with a little bit of instruction, which of course we can do with you, we can get anybody, whether you're coming up from a smaller boat, perhaps something with stern drives, moving onto shafts, or whether you're a very experienced boat owner. It doesn't take long to get to grips with something like this. So I'm just put my port engine into a stern, and that's gently going to start rotating the boat round. See, just behind us here, what's happening. The camera view on the back actually is really useful to be able to see what your crew's doing if you had your covers on, but also just where that platform sits in relation to other boats around you. So a quick stab on the brow thruster, you can see as the rotational point on the boat is about here when you come in. And the wind will eventually take hold of the bow, so I'm just going to bring a little bit over to starboard there to keep everything nice and level. You can see out the window here. On the camera just to show you what I'm seeing. And that's us in. So we have some short dock lines here already set up on the pontoon, which is great for coming back into your home berth. Just use the engines there. Gentle dabs on the bow as the wind's effectively over here, so it's pushing us off the berth here. And once he's got that stern line on, I can just nudge the starboard engine that's just doing here ahead, and that will bring the back in like that whilst he gets the spring line on, and then we'll finish off with the bow line. So that's us back in. So I'll put the price in the description, and of course if you'd like any more contact details, as always, it's james@sunseekersouthampton.com. Mobiles +44 7747 686 587. This is a really nice boat. There is actually a possibility potentially to stay here at Swanwick as well. The owner's looking at something bigger, which would need a different mooring here in the marina, so this could be up for discussion as well as somewhere to keep it if you so wish. If you'd like to know any more, please do get in touch. Otherwise, nice to see you. See you soon.